Good morning, everyone. Why chat is disabled? Any details here? Let me adjust if I can. You are not able to chat this session. It is showing like chat is disabled for this live stream. 1 minute. Meanwhile, can you ask her to join? Let me check if I can enable it. Is there any recent policy updated? Where is the option where I can do dashboard? Okay, here. Manage. If I can do some setting. Manage. Any idea, team, how I can enable this chat? Even how you can check that one. Restrictions none. Okay, meanwhile, can you ask other to join quickly here? I can see last participant. Meanwhile, if you are able to hear me, you can give thumbs up. Thumbs up option is here. Chat should not be disabled by default. Okay, so till now we covered custom HTML part, which we already discussed the how to create custom web resource, how to even uh, you know use web API, how to use CSS even under that one. So now if you have any query, anything, even you can add your comments in yesterday session. Even here I'm not able to add any add stream maker, edit stream, not here. Your feedback. Okay, so let's bear with without chat option today. Connection here and corner right. Low latency. Manage. Okay, let me share my screen quickly so that we can discuss. So we already discussed this particular window. Like if suppose I want to create some data here with the help of this API and how to create, right? So I'm going to share my 1 minute. Let me use mouse here. Yogendra ji also joined. Okay, okay. Here also I will close it. Now I'm opening the CRM. Today, what we will discuss here, we have created one JavaScript API call. How we call this API? Suppose we have created one API request from here with the help of this REST builder. Similarly, if you want to retrieve some data related to one specific record, for example, if there is a associated record for this parent entity, what could be the parent entity here? Suppose if I am going to create, I want to display all the associated contact which is related to this particular account. For example, this one. 1 minute. So here, suppose we may have more than contact information. So here we have a contact relationship, there is one contact associated to this one. This is the out of the box relationship, one to many relationship with account to contact. Suppose if I am going to create a existing contact here, Kevin Martin. So I want to add this one, I want to add this one, so I can what it is add existing. Suppose I want to add here, this record cannot be used already as a parent record. Okay, let's create a new record here. Suppose Himanshu, I have created a new record, so I can see here two record. Now, suppose I want to create any other record here. So I can perform that action. Suppose it is showing this duplicate contact is available here. I can even create that one. Oh, because same phone number it is showing, that's why it is showing. So here, what I want to see in the account level, I want to create a HTML or a subgrid in HTML format, and I want to showcase all associated record here. Like I am able to see opportunity also here. So these these are the out of the box grid or subgrid here. But I want to showcase something related to this particular account. So based on this account, when this form is loaded, I want to showcase all associated contact associated to this account, right? So this association should be a parent account here. Our requirement is very clear. So this is last session related to HTML. Tomorrow we will start related to basic plugin code, C# code, how we have to initiate. So let's try to complete this session quickly so that you have more visibility, more clarity here, right? This is the contact. Based on this parent contact, this company, we need to link the child record. So let's try to create a query here. So query means we are not creating any record here. We need to retrieve. Do we need to use here retrieve single or retrieve multiple? Today we don't have chat option. So can you try to add your comment in yesterday session? Let me open yesterday session. So just try to add your comment in yesterday session so that I can get the insight. Are you able to use? So add your comment yesterday session. I will check if you are not able to add anything. This is the one. Okay. If you have anything, just add your comment here so that we can discuss at least. Perfect. Okay. So here, if I need to create a relationship or a query here, so what we need to add here? Retrieve single or retrieve multiple. We need to retrieve account contact detail based on the account lookup. So retrieve single or retrieve multiple. Just quickly give me insight. At least you remember something or not. Can you hear me? What is the difference here? Retrieve single and retrieve multiple. Hello. So I don't think so. It will work here. Retrieve single we will use only when we have record GUID. Retrieve multiple we have to use when we have any other information apart from that GUID. So what we have here? We have here account ID. So what types of information we need to get here? Retrieve, maybe we are retrieving contact. So our agenda here is very clear. I need to display here full name, business name, and either first name, last name, job title, or business phone. Okay. So let's collect here. Let's select from contact. What we have? First name, mobile number, email address, last name, and those are sufficient. Phone, business phone, mobile phone also selected, home phone is not needed. Okay, 5 fields are sufficient here. And what about the filter? We need to retrieve based on the account. Account is sufficient or equal to a GUID we need. That's fine. And account contact should be status. Status should be active. Active means if suppose someone deactivated any contact, we don't want to showcase that. Okay. So this one you understand. We have created, we want to retrieve all the contact record and we need to select those particular fields based on the account. Why account? Because we need to retrieve information from this associated account and we need to display that subgrid into the account level, right? Now we want to create a query here. Query is very straightforward. Our REST builder is more capable. It can generate perfect query based on our need. So let's create a HTML here. How to create a new HTML query we will create. So this is new custom HTML. HTML we have created which A double S O C I A associated contact from account HTML. HTML here is a extension, but we have added the HTML name as well. Okay. So we want to showcase a HTML. So let's try to build one HTML query also. Here we need to build everything because this is completely HTML. So first we need to write one function, JavaScript function, right? So we are writing this particular function inside a script function. You understand how to create a function. We know first we have created one function. This is the function name. We have to write that function name under the script function. This is the tag, script tag, that if we need to write any JavaScript function inside a HTML, so this is the option that we have to write. Suppose I don't want to get all those information. Fine. I don't want to alert anything. I want to get record UID from HTML. So here I will tell you how to get that ID. So here how to get record GUID for HTML form in D365 CRM using JS. So it will give you some context. This is the one. This is, one thing we can get. Likewise, why we are utilizing here this XRM dot that particular information, because here in HTML either you can get the form context, either you can utilize this particular XRM dot page. Some of the developer, they may ask, hey, XRM dot page is deprecated, why we have utilizing this particular one? Because in HTML, if we can generate, we can get the form context, then we can utilize the form context. Otherwise, with the help of this parent dot xrm dot page dot this one, we can get that information. So why even suppose if you have received this GUID, then why you have written this line of code? What is the purpose here? Because this record or this particular one, this will return GUID along with those special character. So we need to remove those special character from the record GUID. That's why we have written this one. Okay, now we have record GUID. Then what to do? Nothing to do. We need to use this API code. So what to do with this API? Okay, let's control this one. So now we have convert this one with the help of you know XML HTTP request. So we have converted this one as, okay, let's first copy this one. I will give you one JavaScript function. Here, even I have written this particular one inside the same function. Even you can define a separate function and you can pass one record UID and you can return a collection here. I will show you here. It is asking either it is true or false. what is the purpose of, or what is the meaning here, true or false. If it is true, that particular call is synchronous. uh, no, if it is true, it is async, and if it is false, it is a synchronous call. So because here we are utilizing this particular call as a synchronous calls, once we got this one, we want to get all those information. And if it is a synchronous, we want to showcase, we need to set everything inside this particular one. Okay, so my function in this particular one, I need to pass this record UID, or what we can do, we can write this entire function under this particular place. Now what we are doing, we here with the help of this id, we try to retrieve, here we will pass. So let's see either it's required single double quotes or not. It's required. Why? Because it is a string. Okay. It is showing some error here. So let's utilize. So we'll try to use this one. Here record GUID, we are getting record GUID value and we are passing into this particular function. Then here we will get all those information as a data set, right? Okay. Now we receive everything inside a here data set or a collection. So we need to store all those information here. So inside this loop, we will receive all the information, whatever we need to display, we need to return here, right? Now we need to get all those data. Write HTML code where I need to display contact record from account and need to display last name, job title, and mobile phone from contact in the 365 CRM. Let's utilize this prompt. So how quickly, right, we can even customize and even we can write. See, these are the four fields we have utilized here. This is the custom HTML code even. So what it will do here, even CSS also here we have received. Okay. Let's utilize this particular account detail here. Based on the account title here, TSTD, header, account details. So contact under accounts. S3, here we are showing here first name, last name, job title and mobile number. These are the header details related to this particular table, whatever we are creating. So this is the script. Get accounts based on the contact ID. So account ID is nothing. URL parsing, it is retrieving even from the URL side. Window.location.search. So here it will retrieve that information, and even we can get this particular information whatever we have written here. Even from this function we can get that information. That is also fine. Return null. If account ID is here, so there is another function, lead contact. So based on the account, 1 minute. So sorry, actually I received one call here. So here, this particular query they are retrieving here with the help of retrieve multiple record from contact. So suppose if we want to generate this particular query, so how they have written this query? XRM.web API. So similar to XRM.web API. So this is the one. So either we can utilize this query with this XRM.web API. So you should understand how many web API we are having. So how to retrieve those data from even different API. So here XRM.web API, they are retrieving data and they are binding that data into that particular table body. How to add, how to create dynamic trtd, so you would understand here, and how to write those content inside the table body. Here, if you have basic understanding related to html, how we are generating dynamically those content, body content, then you would come to know. And here we are creating dynamic row and body, and we are adding into inner html. So likewise, you can create a custom HTML completely even without having any issues. So suppose if I'm going to add a web resource here into our solution, let's try to create a web resource. So line by line here, we have added header. What is header here? Header is nothing like we have full name and business name. So how to display those header? This is the way that we can add those header file. These are under table head, and then we need to add the row. How to create those row? We are creating those row under this particular table body content. These are the table body, and how it looks like after importing into dynamic crm. So let's create a new web resource, html web resource. Okay, let's try to use this web resource and html web resource. English, here everything is fine. We are creating, and now we have to add account entity because we need to showcase into account which particular form we are showing here. Suppose in sales insight, let's see, we have to take a decision in which particular form we need to showcase. So in that particular form only we have to add. Okay, let's add here in the sales insight. In the account, I have selected account entity, clear all the object, add only selected form. Which form? Sales insight. This particular form I have added. Add. Let's open that one. You are able to hear me, right? Okay. We have faced lot of issues today. I'm switching into the native one. I can also add here that one, but let's showcase. Inside this particular section, we will create a new section here. Let me know if you are facing or you have any doubt. Like, we have covered many things related to JavaScript, how to create ribbon library, how to even distinguish the different JavaScript function like on form load or ribbon level, and step by step how to add a button, what is the purpose of command, what is the purpose of action item here, and how we have to showcase enable disable rule. And I will tell you how to utilize the different types of debugging rules. Like, suppose if we want to debug something, suppose a button is not visible, so I told you ribbon customization, how to enable that ribbon debugging. Why it is taking much time? So here this is the form, and now I want to create a different Section would be one column. I want to showcase. Okay, let's add that one under. Okay, let's showcase that one here. Let's not use this one. Let me showcase. Let's add a new section, one column section here. So associated contact. You know how to create a section, right? Account contacts. This is the section name, and I want to showcase this section in the form. Add line also I want to showcase. Okay. Now I want to add a subgrid here, not subgrid web resource. Okay. A web resource, which web resource we have created? What is the name of account? Let's use wildcard search. What is the name of this one? Right? This is the HTML we have added. We have added this HTML account. Okay, let's use the same name, account contacts. There should be no space. Label is fine. We don't want to showcase that label into the form. And visible by default. Okay, this particular HTML it will show into the contact form. Let's save it and save and close, and we'll do one times publish all. Okay, let's go back. Let's do publish all, and then we'll see. Our energy should not, reduce here. Like this is very boring. This will not help in our life. It will help you to increase your, pay scale. So if you are investing your time, you will increase, uh, your day-to-day lifestyle. Let me reload it. Developer life is very hard. Like you cannot predict where you start in which particular activity you can resolve early. Primary contact. Is it done or it is still publishing? Let's wait. Who are new here? Maybe you are not able to correlate those things, but start from beginning. You will try to get all those, detail. Where is R? We have here that HTML. Microsoft is adding very good, insight now in a day-to-day basis. Is it done? Yes. Let's reload it. Where is our form that subgrid? Inside recent content. We have added this HTML. Yes. So here we are able to see all those subgrid. What? Why contacts are not showing? Let's take a look. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. Where is that one? Active contacts. Okay, let's debug it. How to debug it? That is a also. Let's open. What is the web resource here? Account. This is the one. And how to debug it? Let's add a debugger here, then here, and then here. If it is returning more data, window.onload, here we are adding, and let's reload it. Okay, F11, F11 get account ID. Let's see, F11, F10, F10. What we have? Account location. Here search is parameter is here because account ID is showing null here. Okay, so let's check here if we are getting parent dot xrm dot page or what what we have here, XRM dot page. Yes, we have all those information here. XRM dot page. Now data, even how to dot data dot entity dot get id. This is the way that we have received the account GUID. Okay, let's use this function only into this one and we'll get the all data. Or we can do one thing, instead of this one we can use this id and no need to change anything. Okay, let's publish it, where we have this web resource. So now once we receive this particular, record GUID. Record GUID is nothing, whatever, record we open that one based on this UID we have received. So our aim here is to retrieve this record UID. How to retrieve that record UID, that is our main purpose here. So we tried earlier, like from the URL we can get, but we have received null UID. Now we tried like how to get that one, parent.xrm.page.data.entity.get id. So this architecture I have showcased in the first session, like what is the form, that hierarchy we have. So let's see if that is published. Likewise, we have to do line by line debugging, and if we are facing any issue, if any of the line, if we have not received any proper data, then we have to replace and we have to check how to get that information first. That is our main focus. How to retrieve that we can get information from the internet. Like we have many, chat agent we can retrieve. It is not like everything we have to recall and we have to remember everything, but our main focus, main purpose here to how to achieve that requirement. Like if based on this account, if we need to retrieve something from any other uh, application or any other tables, so our architecture or our understanding should be clear, then only we can achieve that one. Now we receive the data. We got the data from that account. Our purpose is resolved here. Now this is completely custom subgrid that we have showcased. We have here one, two, three. Three contacts we have added here. So based on this account, if you want to check, this is our custom HTML information, and this is dynamic CRM out of the box information. Here, this is if we don't want to achieve here. So even if we need to retrieve, we have to perform anything. If I have expertise in HTML or CSS, even I can implement anything. This is one example that I have showcased. So here I can create two button. I can edit this one. I can even perform any action whatever I want. Even I can create this application as a complete .NET based application now if I have that capability. Even here I can create another button action. I can add a button here edit. I can add a button delete. I can edit button here, whatever. If I need to even I can enable this particular grid as a editable grid completely. But if I have that capability, I can do that. So this is one of the example of custom HTML. So this is grid level. We have showcased how to even perform a create request in a claim level form. Here we are displaying that information in the HTML one. How big that code is? Nothing. Here we are retrieving. We are retrieving means anyhow we need to retrieve some data. Even if I have a experience as a C sharp developer, so what I have to do? I have to create a store procedure to retrieve the data. I need to even write a function where I need to create a connection, and I need to retrieve that data into a data set, and then I need to display HTML and I need to showcase. Here I have done nothing. I have created, I retrieve a record GUID. I have created a select statement to retrieve the data with the help of this API. So I should know how to write this particular statement, how to retrieve that one. Either I can utilize this our tool, REST Builder tool, Dataverse REST Builder, or even I can utilize any AI chat agent, right? And here I am displaying and I am creating a dynamic table row and table content, and then we are displaying here in this particular HTML body. That's it. Here I am calling this particular function on window on load. That is the one that I have done. Nothing. Even I can create a custom HTML here as a editable grid also. How to do that one? It will take some time, but we can achieve that one. Right? Any doubt? Any clarification needed? Let me know. I'm not sure how you pass that information. Maybe once we close this session, you have that option to add your comment, your feedback, your query, anything. If you have any query, just complete that one before starting our plugins code development. Plugin code or more complicated, more complex logic we can see here, because we can do everything in server side code. So you should know, because now in a day you can feel like this is very basic one JavaScript, very small things. Now once we are working in plugins code development, then it's very difficult for some people who don't have any C# backend knowledge, but who have basic understanding related to C#, they can quickly grab it. But this is opportunity for everyone. You can even learn the basic understanding related to code activity and plugins. Don't miss this session. Maybe tomorrow and day after tomorrow, maybe this Saturday I'm not available due to some urgency, but we'll try to utilize our tomorrow session. We can initiate and I will give you some work, how to grab that knowledge before starting and go into deep and drive session related to plugins code. But don't miss any reason, any problem you are facing in your life. Don't miss this session, at least for this plugin session. Because if you don't know plugin session, if you know everything, you cannot achieve most of the interview questions, most of the calls. You will get 40 or 50% query related to plugin. This is the first question they may ask. Do you have real-time experience exposure related to the plugins? If yes, then they will consider into next stage, otherwise no. This is must have knowledge in your life if you are a developer in D365 CRM. So it's better in any case, any situations. If you are in traveling mode, if you are in different types of mode, any mode you can enjoy, but don't miss this session. This is must to learn session. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you everyone. Have a good day.